Hi everyone, my name is Eric Nicholson. I am a founder and CEO of the Astute Realty LLC. It's an investment company based here in Maryland and Pennsylvania. And Marcia Grant, she is the owner and founder of the Greenwood and Archer. It's a lending company in Maryland. And we would like to introduce you Isabel Uribe. And she is a wonderful woman. She's an investor. We have attended her events, met people that we were very happy to network with and learn a lot. Isabel, why don't you share a little bit about your journey, how it went and how you got into the real estate, and introduce yourself to us.
All right. Well, thank you very much, guys, for having me here. I'm really, really happy to be here.
Okay, so I've been in real estate for about 15 years, and I started right when I moved to the United States. I'm originally from Mexico City, and I started in real estate right away as an agent, and I was lucky enough to end up in a team that was very focused on investing. I don't think every team it has any focus on investment, and I was very, very lucky to be kind of like part of this investment board from the beginning. But for many years I did it for clients. I never did it for myself, and I was just kind of learning until one day a huge deal came literally into my lap and couldn't just walk away, and I was super nervous about it. And well, that time Rob, who's my mentor and he's a very good friend of mine, told me, well, you have to do it. And I was like, but why, how? And I did it, and it went great. And that's how I started, and like in this investor world, because I had everything in theory kind of like in my mind, but it's different to actually jump and do it. I was able to do it for clients, and everything was good, but it's different when you're doing it for yourself. And it was great. Then I started more and more like getting myself into the investment world because of that, like doing things for myself, and doing deals for myself instead of my clients. And then so two things happened that were really interesting. One of them is one of the things is that I do believe that many people don't believe in themselves in order to invest in real estate at all, and they think they need a lot of money, or they think they need a huge network, or they think they need other things that they probably don't have. And in my case, in my experience, the way I've looked at it, that happens a lot to women. We still have this kind of overwhelm about real estate. And that's why I decided to start one of the GRID groups, especially for women. GRID is a network of people who are investors, but they're usually local. They're just they're by a city or something, like it's usually a city. And the way I did it is that I was for women who wanted to invest in real estate, or were curious about investing in real estate. For me, real estate investment changed completely my life and my outlook about finances, and I am super thankful for real estate investing. And that's why I decided to kind of pass my experience along to other women, because it helped me greatly. So that was one of the things. And now I have this amazing community of women who are some of them are just in their starting. They are learning, and they haven't done any deals. They're just learning. Some of them have 1 or 2 deals already, and some of them are super seasoned investors. So there's a huge kind of array of different experiences. But the good part is that we can collaborate with each other, and that we are learning from each other. And I think that's the amazing part. I've met absolutely wonderful women there, and I'm super, super proud of that group. That was one of the things. And the other thing that happened to me is that year when I did really well, the first year that I did really well in real estate, I was very happy until tax season happened. And I was like, I knew that there was the tax code always, it was in the back of my mind that the tax code allows you to invest in real estate. Not only allows you, kind of pushes you to invest in real estate, and so in order to for the economy to grow. And I decided to learn, as much as I could, took any kind of courses, classes, everything. And now I am helping. So I'm, for the past year, advising people on how to build wealth and reduce that tax bill at the end of the day. One of my clients last year, he was able to reduce his tax bill in $400,000 just for the first year because of the strategies that we put together. And how it's structured, I am always like super big in protecting everything in order for your, in order for even your family, when you're like, if you die, everything is protected, everything is under trusts, everything is kind of like working well, and there's kind of like an umbrella for everything. And that has been what I've been talking about lately. I am putting together a course for new investors, because this, like, my clients for now are W-2s, so they were not aware of any of the real estate world. And I think there's a lot of people in regular jobs, not regular jobs, I don't want to say that investor is not a regular job, but in W-2 jobs where they are not aware of the possibilities they have for building wealth and not to pay that huge amount of taxes with real estate. So I am bringing a little bit more awareness on that regards, and that's what I'm doing.
And I will be asking follow-up question in that regard. I think 2017 tax code in particular allows certain deductions to be taken if you are investing in the real estate. Can you give a quick example of at what income point it actually starts making sense and how it is utilized? So let's make an example. So obviously somebody who just started up, they might just have deductions on cost of running the business and no income at all. They would be in a negative, but eventually as they build up their business and their income increases, they'll reach a point where they will generate more income than they need to spend, or they might be spending on business related things that they could deduct. And can you give an example of how it works, at which point it becomes useful, and how it actually applied practice?
There's two things that I want to say around in that regards. I do believe that if you're a W-2, yes, there's a point maybe when you're making over 180, or it doesn't have to be like super high, when start like investing in real estate, like buying your first Airbnb or your first, like buy and hold, like the first property, definitely makes a lot of sense to start putting money into that, because at the end of the day, what's happening is that you're building wealth. You may not have the money in your bank account, but you don't need it in your bank account because it's less valuable in your bank account, because the bank is not giving you anything for it than having it in a property, or having income from that property. So that will be the first thing. And the other thing is, in my experience, if you start doing it, if you start kind of like building it the right way, with the right structure, with the right LLCs from the first deal, I think it's like you're setting yourself up for success at the end, because if your long-term goal is to actually build more wealth in real estate, if you already have, 10 properties, it's more difficult to kind of restructure everything. I mean, it's absolutely possible, and it's done all the time, but it's more difficult to restructure everything than what it is if you start from the get-go in a good way. So yeah, I think
and I don't think that there is a complications involved in that. You just set up the LLC properly, you just make sure that your bookkeeping is right, so when time arrives, you take the benefits. What I meant was not for a W-2 employees, because for them, if they have anything that they are saving and they're putting in Wall Street savings account or Wall Street account, the stock market, they are limited to from anywhere from like a couple % to like 7% yield per year. And if they could invest that extra money that they're not touching, have no need of yesterday, today, tomorrow, they could actually twice that much or more, depending on how actively they wanted to be involved in the real estate. And what I was more referring to was that if you do it full-time by yourself, right? So let's say you don't have the W-2 job anymore, you are just depending on your business, and you need maybe, whatever amount of money that you need to live comfortably, and then you start earning more than that, all that money again goes back to your savings account. And again, before it goes to your savings account, that money has to be now taxed at the full rate. and you're going to be highly taxed. It's an income, or capital gains, whatever it might be. But then I think one of the strategies is to reinvest that money into the real estate, whether it's Airbnb or long-term rental, and have that as a part of your business expenses or deductions, so that you don't have to be taxed on that. And I think that's the wonderful formula I wanted to touch up. So I really appreciate, I think we will have to have like series of the podcast, because the subject is so broad and there are so many different ways to do these things. We can only likely touch it up during this short podcast, but eventually we'll have to have them delve deeper into different type of strategies, how you can now take your 401ks to self-guided IRA account and so on. Again, my pleasure to speak and always learn something new from you. With that, I'm going to pass on to Marcia. I'm sure she always has very good questions. So I'm going to pass on to her, and she will grill you a little bit now. So Marcia.
Yeah, thank you so much for joining us. So yeah, I think we will have to have a few different podcasts, because you do have a lot of industry knowledge that I want you to be able to get out and share. So I love the fact that you are helping these people to structure this correctly from the beginning, because I can't tell you how many gurus that are out here that are holding their properties in their personal name. And I know for sure, you're a guru. You're definitely not holding your properties in your personal name. So I love the fact that you're helping them structure it and, form a foundation for their business from the beginning. I love that.
Oh, thank you. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm sorry, going ahead.
No. I would say, yes, you're right. There's so many people still holding everything under personal name.
What's your favorite real estate investment strategy right now?
Oof, there's many. I think definitely will be 1031 exchanges. I think that those are amazing and they work great. Also, opportunity zones are kind of in the same regard. I do believe it's a very good way to build your portfolio, to build your wealth, and to own property without, it's just owning property, and you don't have to worry about those taxes that you need to pay. So that, and honestly, all this creative financing deals that you can structure, I think you can get so creative, obviously, but there's so many ways to structure a deal that we're not used to. I mean, especially because I'm a real estate agent. I still do real estate in the regular way, and the way I learn it and the way the regular public learns about real estate is this way. It's very traditional. You have to deal with the seller through an agent, and you have to go to the bank, a regular bank that is probably going to give you a rate that right now it's kind of high. So just a way of thinking of, okay, maybe the seller can finance my deal, or I can partner with the seller in order to both of us to make money from this thing. There's so many ways to arrange the different terms that I think it's really interesting.
Okay, yeah, I love that. I like learning about creative financing. That was not in my background much at all until recently, really this year. I know we didn't talk a whole lot about my background, but I was a team leader at one point. I had 70 agents on my team at its height within Williams. So I do know that most realtors don't have any insight whatsoever into real estate investing. So it's nice if you're going to invest to have a realtor that understands investing, and very few of them do. So tell me this, what advice would you give women who want to start investing, but they're kind of intimidated?
There's two things. The first one is you don't need any money. You only need the will to invest, you only need to learn about how to invest. But if you want to do your first deal, you don't need any money. Literally nothing. So sometimes this overwhelm comes from, oh my God, I don't have money. Oh my God, I don't have, just a matter of having, a little bit of time, a week, in order to put together the deal and to find the right deal. But it's always available. And second, I think we as women have been, conditioned or something not to ask for help.
Yeah.
And because now we can do everything, right? Which is not true. Well, not that we cannot. not. It's like we should. I do believe that getting into a right community or getting into the closeness with the right kind of people is what makes the whole difference. Because it's not about you having all the answers. It's about asking for those answers to the people who have been in your shoes already, and they started maybe before you, and they want to share their knowledge. So I think that those two will be the most important things for me.
Yeah, network and community is so important. And although I've been in a number of different spaces in real estate investing, you cannot know everything. You cannot. So no matter how long you've been investing or how many properties you own, you can't know everything. So community is tremendously important for a number of different reasons. So you can leverage one another's expertise, each other's time, each other's talent. So I always have conversations about networking and coming together a lot of times and investing so that you can leverage one another's skills and capital and all of those other things. So I love that. What do you wish? No, I think I asked that. So if you could go back in time and give your younger self some advice when you first started, what would that advice be?
Do it fast. Do it faster. You know,
Do it faster.
Do it faster. Don't doubt yourself. You got this. You know, I think one of my biggest things were that I really didn't do it until I didn't have any other, you know, the universe or God or whatever you believe in was telling me you have to do this. Yeah. So before I didn't take the plunge until I had to. And I do believe, I mean, that was my journey, and it was, you know, it's okay. But I think the doubting myself was slowing things down, and I now it's like I could have started earlier.
Yeah. We teach a lot. I always tell investors, you can only learn a certain amount in theory. The rest of it, you're going to have to go out there, and it's going to have to be boots on the ground learning. And you may make a few mistakes, and that's just how things go. That's how businesses go. That's how you grow. But you can only learn so much in theory, and then you just have to get out there and learn, you know, in the real world.
Yeah, that is also something very, very important to think about, because I think we are kind of adverse to making those mistakes. Those, if you think about it, are part of your curriculum,
part of the journey.
So you're gonna learn from those mistakes. And I know it's kind of cliche, but we're so adverse to failure that we avoid it at all costs. And it's kind of like, it's okay. It's here.
Yeah, I used to tell my team, fail forward. Yeah, fail forward, fail fast, and that's how you start growing.
Yeah.
What do you think the most underestimated skill or habit is that helped you be successful?
Oh, wow.
In your real estate investing journey?
The most underestimated skill, I think patience.
Okay.
I think patience because when you know you have the right deal and you have to wait for the seller to, you know, be in the right place, or just the approach you have to them is, if they know that you're there, that you're taking care of things, that you're there for them and being patient, then I think that's what, because this is about building a relationship with them. And people sometimes, especially in this real estate world that we live in, they are not in their best moment, the sellers, and just having the time to talk to them and to actually listen to what they need and I think it's a huge deal breaker.
Okay, yeah, and being authentic. A lot of these people are in, like you said, really bad situations, and it's figuring out ways to find solutions, devise solutions to whatever their problems are, and coming from a very authentic place as you do it. So what do you wish women knew about wealth building in real estate?
I wish they knew they can do it.
Okay.
In their core, you know, I wish they actually believe in themselves and they believe they can do it.
Yeah.
And it's just a matter of believing in them. And it's such a male-oriented industry that it's super overwhelming.
Mm-hmm.
But if you know in your core that you're here to help, and then you're here to help also your community, your family, you can definitely do it.
And that's why I love that you created that community for women, because it's nothing like women coming together and supporting one another, you know, in this male-dominated space. So what book or podcast or mentor, tell me the book or podcast, because they probably can't get to your mentor, but tell me the book or podcast that has had the biggest impact on you as an investor.
Cash flow quadrant for sure. It talks. I don't know if you read it, but
No, I have not.
I read it a long time ago, and it talks about how we all have different ways of thinking about money. And the name is Kiyosaki. His name is Kiyosaki. It's the same guy who wrote Poor Dad, Rich Dad.
Mm-hmm.
He kind of put a circle and divide us into 4 pieces, and he talks about the first quadrant is people who make money with the W-2, and we are kind of trained since little children to be that person, because that's what the school system is designed for, and we are designed to have a job. And there's a lot of people who are there, and it's perfectly fine. But then if you don't change into something else, you will always have a job.
Yeah.
And then you retire, and you will have your 401k, and your 401k is not giving you much, but that's everything is kind of secured, no failure. Again, there's no risk there. You always have a job. Then the second quadrant is people who are like agents, like they're following someone's system. They're kind of freelancers, but they're following someone else's system. And their opportunity is to actually branch out into being an investor or having a business, because I'm putting myself as a real estate agent as an example. If I didn't grow into having a system or into investing, there's some point that I don't have, agents don't have retirement, there's no structure for that. And if you're a freelancer or something like that, you also don't have anybody who's in a 1099, they don't have a plan for the future. And then the third the people who have a business, and that means that they have a system, not only the business, but they have a system, and other people can jump on that. And then the fourth one is the people who are investors, and the people who are investors have a completely different mindset, because you can fail, you can actually, but the risk also come with better returns, once you kind of know how to play the game and how to leverage your money in order for that money to be producing more money, that's when actually you can get wealthy. So,
yeah, when you start trading your time for money, and you're just making your money make money.
Yeah,
So that book you're on when you're on that 4th quadrant, just making your money make money for you.
exactly.
I love that. That is my last question. I'm going to go and read that book, The Cash Flow Quadrant.
It is amazing.
I'm going to go, so the next time you and I speak, I will have read it.
Okay, perfect.
As far as the questions are concerned, I think we will have to run more of this to delve into more details, and we will kind of dig deep into some and pull some examples. But my last I think comment or resume will be to ask you to introduce your signature program, the Real Estate Tax Masterclass. Tell people how they can reach out to you, how they can learn from you, how they can join your community, and just, tell us how they can, get to know you. And especially the women, I think they will be thrilled to know that there is a community of other like-minded women who are supportive of each other.
Yeah, thank you. I think the easiest way is on Instagram. My handle is Isabel, Isabel, and then UE. And I think that's the easier way. The link to the community is right there, and the program for I'm always talking about it. And if you want the business to be structured in the right way, you can always talk to me, and we can talk one-on-one. But I'm building this program. It's called Keep It All. It's this course that I'm gonna give. In how to structure the right way, make your assets get bigger, and and reduce your tax bill the most you can. That is about to be released, I guess.
Isabel, I think we lost you. Cannot hear
I
you.
can hear her.
Can you hear?
I can hear her.
Interesting. I can't hear you guys.
It's still recording, Isabella.
Okay. All right. I'll keep going. Sorry. Okay. So
I'm about to release it, and in a couple of weeks, I'm just putting it to talk to anybody who's interested in building and making their money produce more money, and reducing their tax bill and done in
Very good. Thank you so much. We're so glad you came, and hopefully I can connect with you at another time. I told you I had the real estate company. I've done wholesaling, and now I own this lending company. We lend all across the U.S. I lend in 44 states. We do asset and credit-based lending solely to real estate investors. So, fix and flip, DSCR, ground up construction, and portfolio. It's women-owned. It's my company. So I would love to connect with you at another time so we could maybe have a bigger conversation.
I would love that. Yes, I would love that, Marcia. Yes, and thank you so much for having me here.
Yeah, thank you. I love that you have created that community for women because nobody understands what it's like except for us. Nobody understands the perils of it except for us. And it's nice for us to support one another through it. Yeah, thank you. I don't know if Eric can still hear us or if we can.
Yeah, I can. There was some glitch. My system has switched the audio. I don't know why. But anyway, Isabel, I wanted to thank you sincerely for coming today and spending your time with us generously to tell us about yourself, your journey, and the community that you have built. We definitely look forward to touching up with you and meeting in your future events, and hopefully you will attend our events. And let's delve deeper. And what I would like to do is to get into specific scenarios as examples and show the audience what particularly what actual things that they have never thought about that can be done that are advantageous in practical terms. So I'm very much looking forward to that conversation.
Especially 1031 exchange because it was one of my areas of expertise because so many people don't understand 1031 exchange and all of the different things they can do. There's a forward, there's a partial. It's so many different things you can do, but they a lot of times don't know, and they also don't know all of those dates, 45 and 180, and they are strict. They have to be met. A lot of people don't know. Even the tax attorney we met with the other day didn't know those dates. So it's really important that you're working with someone that understands 1031 exchange very well. You're going to do it. So thank you. Can you put information in the chat? Because I don't think I have your information. First, put mine in there so that you can have mine as well.
Yes, so I'm gonna put the handle at Instagram and then my email address.
Okay. All right. Very good. So we'll connect soon. I haven't seen it come up yet, but I'm sure it will.
Isabel, can you make sure that it's sent?
I know. Hold on. I sent it to the AI direct. Nobody was gonna get it there.
There it is.
Okay. We will connect soon.
definitely. I'm looking forward to it.
Me too.
Thank you, Isabel.
All right. Thank you.